Appreciate it. See you at the rally. Bring your drums. Get together in rhythm. Play together.
We're going to need the rhythms from around the world to help us win this fight. It's a pleasure to be here to help beat up on Mr. Hurwitz, but more importantly, to celebrate the grandeur and the beauty of the redwoods. Have we got any tree huggers in the audience tonight? It'd be more apropos to say, do we have anybody who isn't a tree hugger? And then we'd know who the Maxam spies are. Anybody out there willing to get arrested for the redwoods? Yeah, well, a lot of us are up here to join you. And thanks to so many of you who've been carrying on this fight for so many years. You've done really, really heroic work. But we're here tonight to celebrate. We're here tonight for music. We have other rhythms from around the universe joining us tonight. You know, I'm sure most of you have heard the news about some of the achievements by your friends from around the state of California, and in fact from around the country, who've been doing demonstrations at Home Depots across the country. Home Depot, the largest seller of old-growth wood in the home improvement arena, has agreed to stop selling old-growth redwood. Now, on the heels of that victory, I don't want you to tell this outside this room, but we sometimes don't play fair. At the point they agreed to stop selling old-growth redwood, we moved the goalposts and said, if it's wrong to sell old-growth redwood, why would you sell old-growth mahogany? Why would you sell old-growth from British Columbia? And we are now going after them to stop the sale of all old growth. The earth needs her old growth. As Mickey Hart said in the press conference this afternoon, the earth functions as a system. She plays upon herself. An integrated watershed works and functions as a whole system in the old growth, whether it's in Siberia or British Columbia or the Amazon or right here in Humboldt County in the redwoods, are all part of that life support system for the biosphere. It helps the planet and all of our species to breathe. It helps us to breathe. And with that kind of power on our side, we are going to make that environmental U-turn. We are going to shut down the polluting paradigm of the industrial complex. We are going to transition into the post-industrial, appropriate technology, sustainable society, and we are going to do it within our lifetime. We're going to do it for all the species on Earth. We're going to do it for the majestic redwoods. We're going to do it for the jaguars in the jungles of the Amazon. And we're going to take people like Charles Hurwitz, and we are going to shut them down.
We have a special guest who's going to come up and sing a song for you. He's opened for Bonnie Raitt and John Trudell and J.J. Cale and all over this country. He's very well known. He's a social commentator who really believes that music and song have a very relevant purpose. Please give a very warm welcome to Jim Page.
Yeah! All right! Yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Donation jar on a Catholic counter in a little Oregon town for the children who lost their parent when the mountainside came down. And you put in your folding dollar bill and you go along your way, and you wonder to yourself, how it got to be that way, how it got to be that way. And then you see the mills and the work yards with the logs all stacked in rows, and you know it's timber country, and that's how the money flows. And you see the dark green forests 100 miles wide, with their roots all intertwined, holding up the mountainside, holding up the mountainside. Family lived on the mountainside in the beautiful evergreen shadow. And when the company came to clear cut, well, they knew there was going to be trouble. They took every standing tree as far as could be seen. They must have made a fortune when they picked that mountain clean, when they picked that mountain clean. There were those who cried a warning with what little voice they had. Oh, but the logic of the dollar is a logic that's gone mad, with their futures held to ransom and the axe all set to fall. They would not be satisfied until they took it all, oh, until they took it all. It rains every winter in Oregon, and the rivers give rise to a flood tide. If it hadn't have been for the clear cut, there never would have been a landslide. There never would have been a landslide, and the mountain never would have come down. And there never would have been such a tragedy in that little Oregon town, in that little Oregon town. For there were no trees to hold up that dreadful deadly flow when 1,000,000 tons of mud and rock came crashing down below, turned the children into orphans with their parents trapped inside. It was murder by profit, and that's how those people died.